Mr. Wonderful. Hello, ooh, hello. Yes, hello, Mr. Wonderful. Hello, ooh, hello. Yes, hello, Mr. Wonderful.
Ooh, that's a good one. Well, I used to go by Chris Ivory because Chris is short for Christina. And then this was like back in the day when I was signed to Ryan Leslie. I was signed to him for like a couple years, and I kind of emancipated myself from being signed to, you know, another person, mainly Ryan Leslie, I guess you could say. And it's all love though. But yeah, I ended up changing my name to Poison Ivory because a special friend of mine named Lil Eddie called me Poison Ivory. And I love that so much. It stuck with me because it's like a little crack in the porcelain, you know what I mean? And Poison Ivory has so many different meanings to it. You know, there's this poison that they put on rhinoceroses' trunks and also elephant trunks, and it's called Poison Ivory because they put it on the trunks to make sure that poachers can't sell it. It turns the trunks into another color and everything, and like completely like just messes it up. So Poison Ivory could kind of almost be like a deflection at the same time. It's something that's kind of protective for me. But I also feel like my music kind of represents that because ivory is something that's so like organic and pure, and it represents strength, and it represents a little bit of opulence and beauty at the same time. And you know, it's also attached to these magnificent animals that we're trying to protect right now so that they're not, you know, endangered, because they are endangered. But you know, poison is like such, like there's a bite to it, and I feel like that's very much me. Because, you know, I embrace both sides of myself, my shadow self and my light self. I know that I've got a little bite, there's a little punch to me, so that's Poison Ivory. So I put out an EP in 2012, and that EP was called The Filth. And the inspiration behind that was that I was pretty angry. I was pretty pissed off. I was pissed off at the way people treated each other. People were just such assholes. I was pissed off at the way the music industry operated, how dudes would just come at, you know, these young female artists so crazy, how, you know, the people in power were just taking full advantage of everyone. I was pissed off at society. I hated the way just people were marginalized, people were being treated, and it pissed me off. So I called my EP The Filth because it represented all the filth of society, and it was kind of like one big satire. And when I put the project out, you know, I had these songs on it. I had like Alchemy. Alchemy is about a woman who is you know, a spell's being casted over her, and she kind of almost becomes like, you know, almost like it's a voodoo doll, and she's just like becoming this completely different person than who she really is. She's obsessed with like opulence and money and just being fabulous, everything that our society is obsessed with. Then there's Sex as a Weapon, which is about basically the same thing, but instead she's turning the fucking table on the guy, and she's like, look at me, my sex is a weapon and I'm gonna use it on you. And then you got songs on there like my single, my main single off the EP, which is Mr. Wonderful.
Ooh, hello, yes, hello, Mr. Wonderful. Somebody talk me off the stage. I keep breathing out your pollution till I'm red. How can we live on crumbs and bread? Brainwash our bodies so our minds are always dead. You in your suit, you in your tie, baby, you're so handsome with authority.
It's about us just completely falling for the trap of giving our power away to somebody who doesn't have our best interest. So, you know, the first line of the song is, somebody talk me off this ledge. I keep breathing in all your pollution till I'm red. How can we live off crumbs and bread? Brainwash our bodies so our minds are always dead. You in your suit, you in your tie, baby, you're so handsome with authority. It's all in your head, all in your mind. Now we're back lining up the regiment, like everybody gets right back in the fucking line. Ooh, Mr. Wonderful. It's meant to hit you subconsciously. It's not meant to just be straightforward, and you know, it's meant to make you feel in another way. You know, I like it when you know, people write in a way where they can say it without saying it, you know what I mean? And then there was the blues. The blues off of the Filth was actually originally composed for Janis Joplin. My dad wrote that song for Janis Joplin back in, like, you know, the late 60s, and he met with her team, and like she was supposed to cut it and she ended up passing away. Everybody knows the story. She overdosed, but like he was in with, you know, the people and his friends and the clique he was in. He was a songwriter and he was in a band called the Unicorn. He was, you know, he was a hippie, you know what I mean? Now he's a retired minister, so his life's completely different. But the blues, you know, originally titled The Once You've Known Him Blues. So that one I threw on there, and that one is just about being so completely heartbroken by a man that you're like, I'm never going to forget this man, and now I'm haunted by the memory of this man, and, you know, a man who's an alcoholic. It's crazy though, because be careful what you sing. Sometimes you speak that shit into existence. I ended up getting in a relationship with an alcoholic and wrote a bunch of songs after that too. Yeah, so there was a period in my life when I was diagnosed with cancer. I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and I went through chemotherapy. And so whenever I would go to those chemotherapies, there was a playlist that I would listen to, and it was mainly gospel. It was Yolanda Adams, Donnie McClurkin, the Kurt Carr Choir, the Clark Sisters got me through it. I just listened to nonstop gospel. It really pulled me through. I needed to praise God in a difficult time in my life in order to stay open and stay connected to God and stay grounded. So I definitely would have to say that gospel music for sure got me through cancer. For sure. Kept me positive, kept me sane, kept me grounded. If I could describe that mixtape, I would have to say it's going to be one huge surprise of the type of people that are going to be featured on it. I'm really excited about that. But that's not what the mixtape is about. It's not about the features. It's about the content, the musical content. The vibe is definitely going to be a fusion of alternative, hip-hop, trip-hop, a little bit of classic rock in there, a little bit of soul. It's got a little, just tiny bit of reggae in there, but it's all soul. You're gonna feel the heart and soul in it. If I could describe my mixtape in 3 words, I would have to say it's gonna be gritty, it's gonna be honest, and it's gonna make you feel. So Alison Hartley is and will always be my #1 fan turned friend. I actually got Sweet Angel and her birthday and her death day on my arm. Alison Hartley was always supportive of my music. She would send me gift packages. She would make videos for me on my birthday. She never missed a birthday. She rocked with me for several years. She connected me with so many fans all over the world that I didn't even know existed. She connected me with people that, you know, are still fans to this day. And she also would check in and check up on me as a person, but she always did it with a lot of respect and dignity, and she never overstepped her boundary. We had a really special fan-artist relationship, and I just appreciated it so much. She was like an angel. She felt like an angel, and I used to always call her Sweet Angel, and it's just so strange to me how, you know, the really special ones, when they go, they almost feel like they weren't real, you know, and she just felt like just a pure being, just a pure light. So this whole project is dedicated to Alison Hartley. I even have a track on Life is a Trip called Alison that's completely dedicated to her. And that song is not sad. It's not, meant to make you feel like you just want to sit there and fall apart and cry. That song is a song of celebration because it's celebrating her life. So this one's for you, Alison Hartley. I love you, Mama. Sweet angel, always. Hey, shout out to Kids in Despair. He's been another Day One fan. He's another one, so shout out to that kid. He's awesome. I say grown-ass man, actually. You grown now. In my eyes, anyways. To answer that question, Kids in Despair, I would have to say that it's definitely not from the Oh Boy era. Oh Boy was a track that I did not release, and I had given snippets of it, but I decided not to release it. It's a dope track, but I would have to revisit that. This is another evolution, and I'm in another space and realm now. So, but maybe I'll bring that song back. Maybe I'll do like a more laid back, vibey version of Fucking Else. Three influential artists right now would be Joe Cocker, Brandy Carlisle, and Buju. Mike Posner, I think he's really hot because of his character. He seems like he's just like fun and pushes himself to expand and stretches himself spiritually and fucking climbs mountains and like takes his shirt off and looks really hot. The first album I ever owned was I remember the first cassette I ever owned, and it was these two cassettes, actually three. The first cassette I ever owned was TLC. And then the second one was Whitney Houston, and I think like the third one was like the Braids, when they like recovered the Queen song. I don't know if you remember it. I used to love that song for some reason. Mama, ooh. When they covered it, I don't know if you guys remember that shit. It was like an R&B and pop version, but I fucked with it for some reason when I was a kid. And then the first album that I ever owned was Third Eye Blind. I can impersonate Aaron Neville and maybe Tony Braxton. Aaron Neville's like, the touch, the feel of cotton, the fabric of our lives. That was terrible.
Mr. Wonderful, hello, ooh, hello, yes, hello, Mr.
Oh, that's easy. That's the first song that pops in my heart is like, and I said heart too. First song that pops in my heart, you hear that, is Bonnie Raitt. 'Cause I can't make you love me if you don't. I can't make your heart feel something it won't. Yeah, that's what I got. Girl. Ooh, girl. I don't fucking know. I can't think of anything.
Okay. Star.
She's a lucky, she's a star, and she cries, cries, cries with a broken heart, thinking, is there nothing missing in my life? Then why do these tears come at night? Ooh, Mr. Wonderful. There's so many. Oh, Victoria Monet, she just dropped a song. They wanna know how they get that ass like that. How I get my ass like that. They wanna know how I get my ass like that. How I get my ass like that. Hey, Victoria Monet. Thanks for watching MusiKam. I'm Poison Ivory. You can follow me at I am Poison Ivory on Instagram and Facebook. Also, make sure you subscribe. Hit the subscribe button below.